Hello and welcome back to the ministry. And today we are talking about God's supernatural positioning system and following the process. So, as we start this word, if you hear noise in the background, look, I done started this word twice. If it's gonna be noise, it's gonna be noise in the background. We just gonna have to deal with it because the devil wants to play games. Okay, now that particular noise is past, moving on. At the beginning of yesterday, dad, my dad wanted to do something. He wanted to do this for about a week, but because of the rain, he didn't go out. And on Monday, he asked me if I wanted to go on another day. I prayed to the Lord and I said, if I'm meant to go, we'll do it on this day. Yesterday was the day we ended up doing it, which was the day I prayed that if it was going to happen, let it happen then. So, when we were going to go to this place, I am the one that had the GPS on my phone. My dad is about 80 years old. He don't know how to operate a GPS, just for knowledge sake, okay? So he's asking me, you got that GPS thing on your phone? Look for it. So I look for the place. He hands me the address. I write it down into the GPS and we're off. This journey should have taken 35 minutes. Oh, we got a word here. So, I'm tracking with the GPS. The GPS is turned up so he can hear it. First thing, he's a little bit hard of hearing. I'm going to explain that afterwards, but you probably get it already spiritual. Next, as it's explaining, it says where it's going, and then he asked me to repeat it. I can't repeat everything that she says that fast. So, it repeats it anyway because, as GPSs do, they have a tendency as you're moving, they will repeat the instruction the closer you get to your turn or what have you. So, you're following the GPS. Everything's going well, but the journey's taking a while. We're about 22 minutes into the journey, and my dad gets the brilliant idea. I know where I'm going. You don't need that thing no more. I put it away for about 7 minutes because he starts journeying and says, I don't think I turned right. So I pull the thing out again and start it up. But because we didn't follow the route in which it said, it added 17 more minutes to the 5 to 7 minutes that he was wandering on the road. So we now have to take this long loop all the way around to get back to where he's trying to go. Now, we get about 4 minutes from our destination. My dad starts to spiritually have a fit. And he's like, I don't know where everything is taking us. And he goes to the convenience store and starts asking people. He gets back in the car and I says, Dad, we're 4 minutes away. You just have to keep going that way. He said, I ain't listening to that thing. Think about this. So then we're almost to the destination and he turns off early because where we're at has 2 entrances. He takes the sooner entrance instead of the latter entrance. Let it minister to you because I'm about to break this down. And ends up circling around trying to find the place because he's literally just on the other side of it. Because I told him when we entered, the sign is right there. Let that speak to you. Okay, moving on. We circle around. He goes to the side of the parking lot, turns around, comes back. He's like, where in the world is this place at? I said, the sign says over there. And he initially said, when I pointed to the sign the first time, it must be around the corner over there. But didn't follow that instinct, instead circled around and then ended up going over there. I don't understand why men do that. Can anybody explain to me why men do that? Why do men do that? They ask you for directions and then they don't want to listen to you. Why do men do that? Okay, getting back to the word. Here's the word the Lord gave me, because we arrived at our destination. This is the word God gave. As we are in our process, the Lord already can see the path, because He's God. He's looking down on us. He knows what route we're going to take. He knows how long it's going to take us to get there. He knows what pitfalls. He knows the detours. He knows the detours we're going to take because we can't wait on Him. He knows this. He tells us, okay, take this route. And we're like, oh, you're saying it's going to take this amount of time. Have you ever had the Lord tell you a date? Oh, in 3 months you're going to get this. Or in 3 months. 3 months you're going to get a date. It's going to come up and something going to happen. In 2 months, in a couple of days, on this date, something's going to happen. How many of y'all seen a date? Dr. G did a word a while back called dates are markers. They're not particularly that you're going to see the thing happen, but they are a marking point. So the time on the amount of time it takes you to get there is only an estimation. Doesn't mean you're going to get there in that time. But you follow the path. You walk through the process. Some of us have been on that process. That 22 minutes. But to us, that 22 minutes may have looked like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. And here we are, we close. But because we close, we're like, oh, I see signs that it's happening. Let me go my own route, because now I can see it. I see it. So I've been here before. I know what this looks like. How many of y'all turn around? Because y'all already seen this experience, and God already told you, I need you to do this, but you see the experience and you're like, but I already been here. I already did this. What you mean? I already been here. I know the outcome of this. Why? Do it again. Do it again. And you're like, he knew when he turned off that he was wrong. So what happens? We go and do it our own way. We go and do it, but it wasn't the way the Lord said. And we end up all wandering. Because the Lord said, oh, you're going to do it your way. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Because you doing it your way. The G.P.S. stopped talking when he said he knew where he was going. I turned it off. So I said, you know where you're going? Okay. You know where you're going. So I turned it off. He said, you can turn that thing off. I'm like, okay. Getting back to the hard of hearing part. My dad's hard of hearing. Some people are hard of hearing. Some of us are hard of hearing. Some of us refuse to listen. God's been talking the whole time, but we hard of spiritual hearing. I'm going to let this sit there. Are you good? Okay. You hear me now? Okay, good. Like that old Sprint commercial. You hear me now? You hear me now? All right. So, we think we know where we're going. We wander around. He still didn't ask for the direction at about 7 minutes, but I figured because he was fumbling his words. I was like, I should probably open it back up and let it reroute us. Sometimes God's like, I know I see you wandering around in circles over there. I'm going to throw you a bone. I'm going to give you a sign that maybe you need to come back and go the route that I told you to go. But I already done told you. You ain't getting around this one without me. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. So, we start following the path again. But because we rerouted ourselves, now you have to go this long way up and all the way back around. But I don't want to go back. It's 2 minutes. And that looked long, guys. You tell me it's going to take me 17 more minutes? I don't want to take that much time. Well, now that you've gone off route, did your own thing, wandered, what would have been a 12-minute more journey at the point in which you got the idea, you knew where you were going, now it's going to take you 24 minutes to get there. Are you happy? Are you happy? You were disobedient. You went your own way. You went your own route. Now, this is the consequence of you going your own route. You now have 17 extra minutes. The first thing that we do, especially if we're children of God and spiritually adapt, it's a demonic delay. It's a demonic delay. No, was it a demonic delay? Was it a demonic delay? Or does God have you in a holding pattern because you didn't listen to him the first time? So now he has to hold you, prune you, reprocess you, get you back in alignment. Now we're back on track. Are we? Are we back on track? Are we back on track? Oh, okay. I was just checking to make sure that we were back on track. Now you're going to have to go all the way back around this long looped, long longevity route because you went the wrong way. Okay? But that's on you because you chose. And the route did look extremely long. Just looking at the G.P.S, I was following the track of the line. I was like, when does this line end? My God. When does this line end? I had to track it all the way around. It's like, oh, you got a while ago. Got 17 minutes. And then he getting all impatient because at 10 minutes, he's like, where we at? Where is it at? Because he sees signs of life. He sees buildings. He sees shops. And we're no longer on the highway anymore. So he's like, we must be getting close to it. Are we there yet? I mean, us. I see signs. You keep showing me. I'm hearing signs. I'm seeing written signs. I'm seeing all of these signs. I'm getting frustrated. We ain't there yet. Could you stop telling me we there? How many of y'all do? Come on now, y'all. How many of y'all do that? Raise your hand. You know you do it. You know you do it. Stop telling me that we're here and this is my season and we ain't there yet. Because you know I get impatient. I don't. Stop telling me. Stop reminding me. Let me focus over here. We ain't there yet. But God's reminding you of what you're supposed to be putting your hands to. So, you're sitting there and you know the route. You're looking at the route. You are looking at the route. God is looking at the route. You can't see the route. The driver, they can't see the route. Okay? He couldn't look at the GPS. I had to look at the GPS. I was the one that was the in between. Jesus. I'm not calling myself Jesus. I'm saying that Jesus is the mediator between God and you. Your angels are the ones that give you the signs to help lead you along the path to get you to where you gotta go. Okay? So, He gets all agitated, and he is 4 minutes away. Sweetie, honey, listen, listen, listen closely. This is how close we are to our blessing. This is how close we are to our breakthrough. This is how close we are to crossing over. We're about 4 minutes away. We're 4 minutes away. I know it looks like it's a long way. It looks like it's not going to happen. It looks like it. I know. We're in the season though. We're in the season. It's about to happen. It's 4 minutes away. Don't freak out and go start asking everybody else. Don't freak out seeking human opinions. Don't freak out, because that's what my dad did. He got out of the car and he started to go ask people. Because he's like, I don't trust anything. Y'all sitting up there. You get close and you're like, let me start getting a team of people together. Let me start doing this my own way. Let me go start. Martha. Mary is at Jesus's feet, but Martha's in the kitchen trying to figure it out. Stop trying to figure it out. You're already that close. You're almost to your destination. Calm down. Keep going. He ended up having to what? Turn around and ask me again. So you had to get back on the right path. You had to go back to God, because all the people you turn around and ask, they didn't have the answer. And God made sure it was that way. They did not know. They had no clue, because God's the one that has to answer this. God's the one that's got to direct this journey. God's the one that's going to have to get you to this location. And if you're not paying attention to God's voice, Jesus, you'll turn off too soon. And the enemy wants you to turn off too soon. He wants you to take the counterfeit opportunity. He wants you to take that counterfeit option that pops up just before you get to, because you turned off too soon. And you're circling around, and the enemy's got you in confusion because he's sitting up there. Oh, I'm going to offer you this opportunity. I'm going to offer you this networking opportunity. I'm going to offer you this negotiation. I'm going to offer you this proposal. I'm going to offer you this. It looks exactly like. Because the place looked, the area looked exactly like. It looked like it should have been right. It did. It did. It looked like it should have been the right place. But this is the thing about the enemy. The enemy makes your deal look almost duplicate to what God's going to give you, but it's loopholes and circles and things that look almost exactly like what it is that you were going to get. But there's a catch to that. And you going to go round and round in a circle, wearing yourself out, trying to figure out how to get out of it. And God said, didn't I tell you when you first got to this opportunity, when you first got to this segment, when you first got to this section, I pointed at the sign and said, it's over there. No, I literally pointed at the sign and told my dad, isn't that the sign for the place over there? He said, oh, that place must be around the corner. But he didn't listen. Sometimes God will point you towards the sign that this thing that you're putting your hands to, that's a counterfeit, isn't the right thing. And you might even say in your spirit, because your spirit felt it first. It's like, yeah, I don't think this is right either. I should probably go that way. And then you follow your own instincts and don't follow what the Lord was spiritually trying to say to you. And you end up running around in circles, because that's what the enemy wanted. He wanted to delay you and keep you out of the timing of your blessing. Come on now. Yeah. And you're going around in circles and going around in circles only to be that close. We were literally, at that point, I think we were about 2 minutes away. 0.5 miles. And then he said, oh, let me go turn around this corner. I bet she's on the backside of this. And he said that first when we first came into that shopping center, that it's probably on the backside of this. when I pointed to the sign. So we ended up turning around and going around and go, oh, there it is. You sat up there and played around for my people with relationships. I ain't even going to dig into that one. I'm going to dig into that one in the next one. The Lord then gave you opportunities. He got opportunities. They sitting in a perfectly orchestrated casing for you. He got that thing in a portfolio, contracts with that pretty black ink pen ready for you to sign it. Negotiations, opportunities. Boo. And you knew that. You could even see signs that it was there. I took the counterfeit opportunity. I'll never forget, there was a time, it was a couple of years ago, it was about 6 years ago, I was looking to publish my first book. There was something on the radio and my dad heard about it and he was like, why don't you call in people? And I was like, okay, I'll call in people. So I called in people. At the same time, I saw something else. It was something in relation to this other company. And somebody then actually prophesied that I was going to get the money for that. Wait, Lord, if I'm actually supposed to get that money, when is that coming, Jesus? Just note. Prophesied for some money. And in relation to that situation, so I'm thinking, okay, this is the deal I'm supposed to do. Thank God for my prophetess. She came on. I was in this scenario. I was supposed to be thinking I'm supposed to be helping this church with something, but I ended up sitting there for the majority of the time because they didn't need my help that day. They're like, oh, we don't need it. We didn't need, we're going to work on that a little later. I was like, so I sat there and I waited. And while I was waiting, this broadcast came on. And she was talking about, you're going to get 2 contract options. 2. And when you get these 2 contract options, you got to be discerning as to which one is correct. Because one's a counterfeit, one's not. But they both look exactly the same. When I tell you, that's exactly what had happened to me. I was like, oh my God. So I turned around as soon as I got home and I called the people. I said, no, I don't want this contract. And when I tell you, the person on the phone, they went from being nice to nice nasty. How can you turn this contract down? What do you mean you're going to turn this contract down? And that's when I know, oh, devil, there you are. There you are. Ah, all right. I don't need this. Completely hung up the phone and I never talked to that company again. Never talked to them again. So, what does that mean? Sometimes that counterfeit opportunity will come before you. Counterfeit negotiation, all that kind of stuff. And you'll kind of feel it's off. You kind of felt it off when you got the contract and you were looking at it and because you were reading the bylines and the fine print. And you're like, just don't feel right. That was the inkling. This ain't it. Even the other contract wasn't it because the money that was supposed to come together for that contract to come together never came. Let me tell you something. If it's a godly contract, God's not going to make you pay for something that's freely yours. The enemy will make you pay. That's why that second contract was never going to work either. Your promise is that close. We turned the corner, there it was. You're right around the corner from your blessing. Hold fast, hold on. You're right there. Prophetic Encouragement did a worship scope yesterday afternoon called Hold Out. She sang for 30 minutes straight. Hold out. I'm talking about that old Negro spiritual. If you want to go listen to it, go listen to it. Hold out. Because you're that close. It's almost here. It's time for your blessings to manifest. Get ready. Get ready. Because you're right there. And I'm going to actually even put this into this word as well. You are so close that I saw en route back two things. And I'm going to add this here. I saw an awning. I could not tell whether it said 222 or 2222. I'm going to give you this because the first thing I thought I saw was the 4 twos. Isaiah 22 and 22 states, I have, this is the one that I placed before you an open door that man cannot shut. I have closed all doors, and they cannot be open that were not for you. So, understand this. The old doors, meaning those counterfeits, counterfeit opportunities, counterfeit promises, the counterfeits, God has shut that door, and you have exited those situations. My dad was literally coming off the exit ramp back into town, and we saw a sign that said, and I lie to you not, I didn't see it coming up, but I saw it on our way off the exit ramp. The building read Exodus. You're coming out. You're already at your promise. You're that close. It's over. It's done. It's finito. God gave you grace for all of that, because I also saw a limit 55 sign as well while we were on the ramp coming off down to the exit. God gave you the grace for you to do all of that turn around, wander around, hemming and hawing, asking other people, all this kind of stuff. He gave you the grace for that. But he has now closed the door for those previous situations and scenarios. And now he's about to bless you. You have officially arrived at your Exodus. Exodus, I believe it's 14:13. God had all of the Israelites collect all of the food and the spoils because he was about to take them out of the city. They ain't even gonna have time for their bread to leaven and rise, because you about to be peace. You out. You outie. It's over. It's done. It's a wrap. We done. It's done. It's done. It's done. You done did everything. All the words I've been getting this past week have been, your season's over, sweetie. You about to be exited from that season. And you about to move. You about to shift. You about to go into the thing that you've been praying for, the thing that you've been fasting for, the thing that you've been standing for. It's about to come. Your promise is like right there. It's there. Get ready. Get ready. Because it's on. It's popping. You ready? It's ready. You somebody did a word the other day. They finish it off by saying it's like 2 strips of bacon on a platter that's grilling. The 2 strips is done. If you leave them on any longer, they're on the burn. It's over. It's over. Pat yourself on the back. Worship now. Praise now. Celebrate now. Remember when the children of God got out of or got across the river and crossed over? What did they do? They took the tambourines and started to praise and celebrate. Celebrate, because now is your time. It's over. It's done. You made it. We've passed the test. We're passing over. We're in our season. It's about to go down. It's on. All right. I don't want to make this word much longer because I still got 2 more parts. You're going to like this. Stay tuned.